In this episode, Cars and Coffee bans a particular type of car, Ferrari or Aston, and the Mercedes Jackhammer. Welcome to episode 292 of the We Are Auto Show. What's up, Derek?
Mr. Michael Rowell, I have sad news.
What's that?
You might be taking a hiatus from the podcast.
For a few weeks and maybe out from the podcast.
But it's also exciting news.
It is. It is. A young car enthusiast will be born.
Yes.
Yeah, my wife and I are expecting, and we are due, well, now, frankly. So I may get a phone call during this podcast and say, you need to get over here now.
Which, in that case, totally reasonable.
Yeah, and I may or may not have tried to strategically lace my wife's belly nearish to the TV when, say, I may be watching a race or some Top Gear or something like that. Because, you know, babies can hear when they're in the womb, right?
You're just planting seeds.
Oh, yeah, baby. Both physically and metaphorically, literally.
Oh, yes.
I could not resist that. But maybe. I've already got him started with a cool little collection.
Okay.
He's got a Carrera GT.
Yep.
He's got a GT3 RS. He's got a GT2 RS.
It's a big garage.
Hold on now. He's got a Carrera S. He's also got a Ford Raptor. Got to have a daily.
Are these Hot Wheels? What are these?
No, they're... Oh, he does have a Porsche 935 Hot Wheel as well, now I think about it. But no, it's... They're like little... I don't know, you roll them back and then they shoot
The wind back cars?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Couldn't think of the word, but...
Cool.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
So,
That'll be super fun.
When he gets here, what age is appropriate to start taking him to the Rolex?
What age for the Rolex? When can he walk? Like 1 or 2?
Yeah.
Once he can walk.
Yes. All right, son. You're walking 18 miles today.
No, seriously.
Yeah, I know. You're walking no less than 18 miles today.
Uh-huh. Maybe a little older than that, but...
Those drunk people over there, we're just going to walk past them. It's okay.
I think at the point where he can remember it.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is, what, 4 or 5? Maybe a little older.
And then you know how some people go on, like, the tradition of, like, go to, like, a baseball game in a different city every year?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to start a tradition where we go to a race in a different city every year.
In a different city? Okay.
Yep. So, like, do an IMSA race in Sebring, then do an F1 race at COTA, then do a NASCAR race in Vegas, and do drag racing at the NHRA Nationals, and I don't know, somewhere in Georgia, right?
But you're going to change up the track, change up probably the cars or the series that you go to as well. Cool.
Yeah. Kind of want to do that at some point.
That'll be neat.
I think it'd be fun.
Yeah. I think that would be. Although I think you would probably like it more than him, to be honest.
In the beginning.
Yeah. But that's okay. That'll be cool.
That'd be fun.
So, this will probably be our last episode for a little bit. Well, you figure that out.
Yep.
As you should. You should take some time off and
Thank you.
You know, go be dad.
Thank you.
But before we take some time off, we got to talk about some interesting articles that have come out of Texas.
Okay. Everything's bigger in Texas, baby.
Everything is bigger, and I guess if it's too big, it gets banned because Mustangs, Chargers, and Camaros have been banned from Cars and Coffee in Texas.
Oh, God.
Banned.
Even the bands are bigger in Texas.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God. So Mustangs, Chargers, and Camaros banned from Cars and Coffees in Texas.
Basically, if it's a muscle car and it consistently revs its engine, does burnouts, or crashes into crowds, it's been banned from Cars and Coffee in Texas.
Well, I don't even know how to reply to this because is it wrong that because they all kind of do that?
They kind of do.
I mean, there's a reason there's a bit of a reputation for them.
Yeah.
Like even here in our local one, there was one dude, well, 2 dudes, and I believe it was a Mustang and also a Charger.
Fitting. The reason for the ban, They did not follow the no revving, no burnout rules.
No.
Yeah. Couldn't see that one coming.
Jesus Christ.
Uh-huh. And from what this article also says, I think it's a specific Cars and Coffee that they're talking about, but the organizers have definitely banned those models of cars. And it's not forever, but there's no date as of yet to bring them back in. So what's your take on this? Like, is this a viable thing that Cars and Coffee should be doing?
So I think what's happening is they're just trying to make an example out of it.
Okay.
I think this is the same as, like, if you're out there being an idiot and you get pulled over by the cop, and the cop could be nice and cut you loose, but you're just being a dick, the cop's going to throw the book at you.
Right.
Right? I think that's kind of where this is going. That's the vibes I'm getting. Obviously, I wasn't at this Coffee and Cars in Houston.
Right.
But I kind of have this feeling like there probably was, at the initial one, the guy was, the organizer was probably like, all right, man, like, come on, let's not do that. Like, this is pretty dumb. There's kids around. But then they kept doing it. So they finally said, all right, fine, screw it. None of you are ever coming back.
For now. Right.
But I think that's kind of... I'm not trying to, I guess, sympathize with the organizers because it's kind of shitty. Because you and I both know quite a bit of Mustang owners that are, like, good dudes that wouldn't ever do that.
98% of them don't.
Yeah. Like, good buddy of ours, right? The driver mod, Anthony. He's not going to go to Cars and Coffee and start acting a fool.
No.
But you always get that one Yahoo that thinks like,
I think this is actually a good way to handle this, to probably, I don't know, for like 2 months or 3 months, ban them, whatever. They'll come back. And hopefully when they come back, they'll have learned their lesson. Oh, now, what I'm curious is, will the pack of muscle car rebels or enthusiasts decide to make their own Saturday morning event somewhere? And
they will try. And then when people show up and realize, well, I can't bring my 10-year-old here because he's going to get hit by some idiot doing a takeover and a donut in the middle of the street, we're not coming back.
Probably.
I think that's more like what would happen. It's one of those, I hate to see it, but I kind of half understand it.
Yeah. What is the real solution here? Is the real solution having, like, racetracks be the one that hosts these and, like, have an outside event that's kind of like a, you can go do burnouts over here section? I don't know.
See, I don't...
Because you got to give the community a way to go do that kind of stuff. You can't just tell them, no, you can't have fun, right?
True.
So you got to give them either a drag strip or, like, a small oval track with, like, a concrete skid pad where you can just do donuts or whatever. I don't know. Like, what's the good middle ground here? Kicking them out of Cars and Coffee doesn't solve the problem. It solves it for this specific event, yes.
It's a Band-Aid for now.
Right. But how do you long-term solve this problem?
I don't actually know, because then I think it has to go into, like, the culture of the owners of that particular group of cars. Like, how do you change that? The only way to do it is from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think you have to have enough guys in the Mustang world, in the Charger world, in the Camaro world saying, like, we got to cut this shit out. Like, we can't be doing this.
Yeah.
We're just not at Cars and Coffee. Let's go get a Friday night. We'll go to a dead-end road, and we'll just have fun. But, like, at Cars and Coffee, that's got to be changed from the inside out, I think.
I think you're right. Our Cars and Coffee around here is pretty darn tame as far as all this goes.
And that's because they have sheriffs on site.
Yeah.
It's
very
also
well organized.
Pretty well self-policed,
It
too.
is.
I feel like we have our local car enthusiast group, I feel like, is pretty, I guess, self-aware that, like, when someone starts being an absolute dumbass, they come up and say, no, cut that out. Get out of here.
Yep. So I think you're right. I think it does have to come from self-policing. I do wish that there were more like burnout type events, because you don't see a lot of them. The only ones I really see are like the Cletus ones, right?
Yeah.
Like the I don't know what he calls them, the the burnout pit that he has. But not every facility has one of those and can host that kind of thing. So
Exactly.
yeah, I don't know. That was an interesting one. I've never seen a particular make or model of car
Just blanket statement, be banned.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
I thought that was kind of awesome.
Could you imagine if they kick everyone out that wears jorts?
No,
All the Corvettes are gone.
none left. It's every single one.
Oh, God.
So, what did you see while you were out and about, buddy?
Okay, so previous weekend, there was a little bit of a car event that I didn't really know much about until the last second. It was Ferraris on the Circle. So our St. Armand Circle did a Ferrari event. And I saw two cars leaving the event further away, one of which was an F8 Tributo. And they were both in like that silvery gray color. So it was an F8 Tributo, or F8 Spider, pardon me, and an 812 GTS.
And that's what this is, correct?
Yes. And I did gripe about this a couple of weeks ago, but I was directly behind the F8 Spider getting on the highway. Didn't make a single noise.
Ugh.
I couldn't hear it over the sound of my own Volkswagen, and my car is stock, by the way.
Yeah.
That is... It's a mid-engined Ferrari. It needs to make a noise.
It does.
I'm sorry. It's a beautiful car. I love it. It's gorgeous. But for the love of God, it can't be silent when you're getting on the highway. It's a Ferrari.
I'm with you.
That should be illegal.
Banned from Cars and Coffee.
Ban. Instant.
Perfect.
But then I saw the 812 GTS, which was a little less silent, but still on the silenter side.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to thinking, I really like the 812 GTS.
I do too.
It was in the spec of the silvery gray with that brown interior. It was a lovely day. They had the top down. Could you think of a better way to spend a Saturday with the top down and a Ferrari 812 GTS? Front-engined V12?
Nope, not a lot. Nope.
Could you imagine a better way to spend a Saturday? Top down, lovely day, front-engined V12 Ferrari.
Yep.
Does life get much better than that?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that spec too. I mean, so you get the great big giant V12 in the front. Base price of the GTS is $404,000. So it's nice and cheap, they say.
400.
Realistically, you're spending 500 or more.
$500,000.
Yeah, it makes 789 horsepower.
Okay.
Torque 530. It weighs roughly 4,000 pounds at 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds.
Jeez.
Top speed 211.
211. Huh.
And it's convertible.
It is $500,000 though.
It is a $500,000 convertible that does 211 miles an hour. Could you imagine doing 211 miles an hour with the top down?
No. I don't.
Would you get scalped?
I don't know. Could you?
This force of the wind just ripping your scalp off?
I do think if you put your hand up, it would
Hurt.
or tear it off. I don't know.
The wind has substance at that speed.
Oh, the wind shreds things at that speed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has a ton of force behind it.
Like you stick your hand out the window on the highway and you feel like, oh,
Right.
There's something there. But like
Yeah.
211 miles an hour?
It's booking.
Jesus.
I can't think that there are many better cars to roll to a Ferrari event than this. Like,
I love it. It's one of my favorite modern Ferraris.
is it worth $500,000? It's my only gripe about it.
Okay. So what's your competitor? The Lamborghini Aventador.
That's not the same.
Well, wait a minute. It's V12 versus V12.
Yep.
Sure, Lamborghini doesn't have a front-engine
Right.
sports car. So there's no other front... Okay, what are we going to compare this to? I found it. The Aston Martin DBS.
Yeah, I was going to say
Front-engined V12.
Right.
So which one would you rather?
How much is a DBS?
About the same, I'll tell you.
Is
Hold
it
on.
really?
Hold on.
It can't be $500,000. There's no way. I mean, it could be.
It
Probably is.
well, hold on. I got to do the Volante. Hold on.
Okay.
Because, okay. Let's see. You're starting at 333, but when you start getting into the Volantes, you are.
So it's in the ballpark.
You're not super far off.
So price doesn't really make a difference here.
What's the prettier car? That or the DBS?
I think the Ferrari is.
Ooh!
I think the Ferrari is more pretty.
So here's my problem. I would say the Aston is prettier, but the Ferrari will make a better noise.
The Ferrari will make a better noise. I would even argue that the Ferrari is more pretty. I know that's tough to argue against an Aston. I think that there's more swooping going on with the back. More, I don't know.
The 812 is a good-looking car.
Yeah, it's a good-looking car.
So yeah, it's my spot of the week.
I like it.
Did you see anything?
I did. So I saw this, which is an SLS AMG.
Ooh, the old Merc SLS AMG.
Yeah, this was the
gold wing doors.
with the big old gold wings. It was in silver like this, and it was just driving around town. But this car ran from 2010 to 2015, so 5 years of production.
Okay, from the beginning production year, we're 13 years removed.
Yeah, it's kind of
that's a 13-year-old car.
It is. It's kind of getting old.
But does it look like it's getting old? I don't think so.
I think
that is a pretty timeless looking car.
Not that old, no.
I think that is a pretty timeless looking car.
I think it's 5 to 8 years old.
I think if you put that directly next to the current AMG GT, I don't think it really looks old.
No, I agree with that.
For example, if you take the current McLaren 720S and put it next to the McLaren MP412C, you look at that and go, what planet are these two different cars from? They don't look anywhere the same.
No.
But if you look at the SLS next to the AMG GT, I think the SLS is aging like fine wine.
I think that this was definitely ahead of its time when it was built, especially in 2010, but by a long shot. Even a little bit in 2015. But like I said, about 5 to 8 years ago is when I would have thought that this would have been made. In general, this is a quick little guy. 6.3 liter V8, making 583 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. It does have 3,700 pounds on the curb weight, so it's not...
Sure. It's not that big or that little, but
no,
it is huge on the road, though.
It is.
Its
massive.
wheelbase is massive. It's the widest car on the road.
And for the power and speed that it has, you do get Mercedes inside.
You also get Mercedes as a audible tone.
Oh, yeah. The sound of this car is
it
fantastic.
Best sounding Mercedes in the last 10 years?
Yes.
It sounds like a Messerschmitt.
Yeah.
Just a Mercedes SLS at full chat. Oh my God!
It is a thunder.
It is on a bombing run out of Germany. This is bad, but oh my God, the sound of it. Oh.
Fantastic.
It's very contrasted to the sound of the Ferrari.
Yes. The Ferrari is the hum.
Completely, totally different. One is that high treble. One is that deep bass.
To jackhammer.
Oh my God. It
Just
will
the
shake
thunder.
the walls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this thing does make a fantastic sound. Price around $200K, which, not that bad.
Not that bad.
It's not that bad. And I bet you that this would hold...
It's probably appreciating a bit.
Do you think it'd hold its value or appreciate?
I think, yeah. It's the last of that engine.
Okay.
It's the last of that 6.2. They call it a 6.3, but it's really a 6.2. They call it 6.3, but it's really 6.2. It's the last of that engine in like a two-door sports car that you're going to buy.
Yeah.
And that engine is the engine you buy an AMG Merc for.
Yeah.
Even the 4-liter twin turbo V8 sounds great, but it doesn't sound like that.
The one question I have, who buys this?
Me.
Okay. Who are you? Like, why?
I'm a man obsessed with big, loud things. I love it.
Because it doesn't have much practicality to it.
Well, hold on. Let's go back up to picture the back. It's a hatchback. It's a Volkswagen Golf GTI.
Oh, sure. Yeah. It can fit 2 people.
Oh, it's not really a hatchback.
Comfortably.
It's not really a hatchback.
No, it's not a hatchback at all.
But
No.
But you could pass for it.
I'm sure you can fit things in the boot. Some stuff. Not a ton, but some.
I could fit my son in there.
You could lay across the hood because it's massive.
You could
sunbathe.
You could do more than that.
Yeah. It's not the most practical vehicle. It's about as practical as my BRZ. Let's be real.
But come on.
Yeah, it does have a thunderous V8.
You get to Publix and you open your door and it goes like this. What? And then you leave and you put your foot straight to the floor because that's the only reason you buy this car.
Yep.
And then everyone in Publix is going, I've been shot.
Uh-huh.
It's wonderful.
But like I said, who buys this car? Other than you, like, I don't know. Because you can generalize with other things. Like the Mustangs, I know what a Mustang owner is. I know who a Corvette owner is.
This is for the Mustang owner that has become very successful.
Do you go from a Mustang to a Mercedes SLS?
Yes. No, you go from a Mustang to a Mercedes C63 AMG coupe.
Right.
Then you go from the C63 to the SLS.
Okay, I can see that path.
I could see this evolving from a muscle car owner. It's like when a muscle car owner that got... Oh, I know who owns it.
Oh, boy.
I know exactly who owns this. It's the Mustang owner that got kicked out of the Houston Coffee and Cars that wants to come back to Cars and Coffee and be a hooligan in a non-Mustang Mustang.
You know, this is the solution.
It is the solution because it does the same thing. It does the same goddamn thing. It makes a V8 noise. It's got a massive engine. It's rear drive. It is a Mustang from Germany.
It's even less practical than the Mustang.
Perfect.
It's even less practical.
And you won't get kicked out because it says Mercedes.
Yes. You know, you found it.
I think I found it.
Somehow a muscle car guy gets swindled into buying a Mercedes, and he loves it. Mm-hmm. And that's who it's for.
It's fantastic.
Do you have, and I wish they would have, my friend?
I do, and it has to do with racing.
Okay.
It's a very simple one. I wish that the WEC, the WEC, the World Endurance Championship, and IMSA, the International Motorsports Association, would unify their naming conventions.
Oh, you're asking far too much, my friend.
Of course, because in the upcoming year, we have Hypercar, GTP, LMP2, we have GTD, we have GTD Pro, we have LMGT3.
All across 2 series.
And it's realistically just 2.5 different classes.
And the only class that's shared is LMP2?
No, because that's gone in the WEC.
Oh, you're right. Damn it.
So
yep, there are none shared, are there?
0.
Yikes.
0 naming conventions shared between the WEC and IMSA. Not a single one.
But oddly enough, you could take any one of the cars and just swap them, and they would work.
99% yes.
Within a little bit of reason. Yes. Yeah. They would work.
Yes. So call them GTP or call them Hypercar. Great. Don't care. Call them something.
Yeah.
Call them LMGT3 or call them GTD. Or just, I don't know, call them GT or GT3.
Grand Touring.
That's a hard one, isn't it?
Like what everyone else in the world calls them?
Yes. You know.
I'm with you. I just don't think that we'll ever get that because I think that each one of them want to be unique in their own way.
You're 100% right.
They don't want to be the next series that has more GT3 cars.
You're 100% right.
Pierre Fillon and the ACO would never fit into that box.
You're 100% right. But would John Doonan?
Maybe. But it's more of a NASCAR question, right?
True.
Because NASCAR owns IMSA, and behind the scenes, I'm sure that they're pseudo making the decisions. I'm sure they let the team make a lot of decisions, but it's more of a NASCAR question.
You're right. But again, I wish they would just unify their naming conventions. Just call them something.
We got lucky that they were able to unify, in quotes, the specs between the GTP cars and whatever they call them, the hypercars.
Yep, because for a long time they've been very different.
Very different. So we're working there. We're getting there.
We'll be there soon.
We're not 100% there.
We'll be there at some point.
Maybe. If we're really lucky.
If.
Yeah.
Do you have an I wish they would have?
I do. So I have an update on the car situation.
Oh, the broken Mazda, yes.
The broken Mazda. So where did I leave you off? What was the last thing that I told you, buddy?
Is coolant.
Got the coolant fixed,
yeah,
right?
That there was a leak that wasn't in the reservoir. It was in somewhere down south. And then there was another check engine light for some reason, but we weren't 100% sure yet.
Yes. The next check engine light, which is the next part of the story, is an oxygen sensor on bank 1.
So an O2 sensor. Okay.
So an O2 sensor, and it's the upstream sensor. So there's a downstream, upstream being before the catalytic converter, downstream being after the catalytic converter.
Okay.
So right as the exhaust leaves the engine, it goes through the headers, and right when it leaves the headers, it goes into the catalytic converter. So between the headers and the catalytic converter, there's an oxygen sensor.
Okay.
That oxygen sensor is throwing in 2 different errors. It's throwing one saying I'm not working, and it's throwing another one saying like I have a heater core problem or something like that. Basically, they both mean the sensor's broken.
Okay.
Order a new sensor. Did some wiring testing on the old sensor to check to see if there was any resistance going through the heater core, I think is what it's called. Nothing. A new sensor came in today. I did some testing on that. Same situation. Nothing. So, I am in the midst of diagnosing either my new sensor is broken and my current sensor is broken, or I am diagnosing this incorrectly, and I don't know the answer yet. So the saga will continue.
One or both are correct.
I don't know. But I'm going to get to the bottom of it, and I'll have a story for you next time, my friend.
I will be curious to know what it is. So what do you wish they would have?
I wish that wiring in cars was simpler.
Yeah, if it was just like one giant plug, just on or off, and everything works or nothing works.
There are 5 different wires going to this single sensor.
Just to the one sensor.
Why do we need 5 wires?
2.
There should be 1 for power, and there should be 1 for data. 2. You only need 2, right? In theory, that's all a circuit needs. 5. 5 seems like overkill. I don't know
which sensor.
For an O2 sensor.
This isn't an integral part of your entire ECU.
No, all it does is tell the engine how much fuel and air, the fuel and air ratio coming out the exhaust.
Yes, which again, your car can run.
It can, yeah. When we used to have like carburetors, this wasn't a thing. It's just spray some fuel into there, put some air in there, and it'll go bang. Great.
Just let it rip.
Just let it rip, Chip. At this point, I kind of just want to rip it out and be like, let it rip, Chip.
It's fine.
Yeah.
This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine.
I don't know why they're so overly complex, but having to try to diagnose it makes it very difficult.
Yes.
So I wish that there was either a wiring diagram or some sort of help somewhere other than just take it to your local Mazda dealership. Mm-hmm. No, I don't want to do that. I can, but I don't want to do that. Fair. I want to fix it. So the right to repair, my friend.
You got it, sir.
Yep.
Which you won't be able to do if you get a Tesla.
No, probably not. Nope.
All right, so that's going to wrap us up then for episode 292. Thanks so much for watching and listening. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, leave a thumbs up, and drop a comment. Let us know what you think about the whole Camaros, Mustangs, Chargers getting banned from Cars and Coffee. I'd be curious to know what you think there. If you're listening on audio only, send us those thoughts via social. Facebook is We Are Auto. Instagram is We Are Auto _. YouTube is We Are Auto. And our website is weareauto.io. So, thanks again, and we'll catch you when we catch you.
Peace.